Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to Sip and Chat with Angeline. It is so good to be here again. We're thankful for this beautiful day the Lord has allowed us to see. All right. We got some good stuff going on. We got some good stuff ahead of us. We're so grateful and thankful for being here today. We're going to take this opportunity to give you a chance to like, subscribe to YouTube, and share. We're going to put the 30-second ticker on to give you that time you need. And once the ticker is done, those 30 seconds are done, we'll be back on. We have a special guest, awesome power couple. You don't want to miss it. So make sure while the ticker is going, you share. Let your friends, let your enemies, let your frenemies, let everybody know some good stuff is going on Sip and Chat. We'll see you in 30 seconds. Okay, here we are. Here we are. It's so good to be here, to be back here. Remember, this is Sip and Chat with Angeline. We're always in the position that we understand that we're in a no judgment zone, and we unmask ourselves and we come in. Okay, here I go. I do this every time. We come in, let me see how it goes right here. We come in masked up, don't want people to see what's really going on in our lives. We dare not reveal the real issues of life, but you're in a position that you're in a no judgment zone. You don't have to hide it. You don't have to mask it up. You can just be relaxed and be yourself. We're not telling business, but we're not faking it till we make it. We're just being real with the hopes that God is going to bring us to that place of abundance as we go forth and share. As we stated earlier, we have such a special guest with us this evening. I call them the power couple because they themselves, I'm telling you, it is amazing how we have no idea who's watching us. We have no idea who sees what we're doing, but people are watching us from different states, different countries, and because we live that life that there's no faking, there's no coverage, there's no hiding. We're able to just flow, not even know people are looking, and present Christ and present the things that can help people. All right, we have with us today none other than I'm going to call him Mr. Kenny Anderson at this time until I read the bio and I refer to her as Lady Tanya Anderson at this time. And we're going on now. Here they are. Bless you. Harry, can you fix it so we're all on here together without faces crossing over?
Let me see.
Okay, you got it?
There we go.
There we go. Where you are, Mr. Perry. There we go. We got it in. Hi, Pastor Kenneth and Lady Tanya Anderson.
Yeah.
How are you?
Hello.
It's so good to have you all with us on today. Oh my goodness, this is such an honor. Oh my God, it's such an honor. We're grateful, we're thankful to have you all with us. Now I'm going to read you guys' bio in a minute because the bio is going to lead us right into topic today, married but single. And I'm telling you, when we consider you all, it's because we know the multitude, the plethora of things that you all have going on, and not only in ministry but in communities, just the different pieces that God has given to both of you, the ministries you've started, the you both are entrepreneurs, got all of that going on, but at the same time you remain married and not single. You're married and you're married. And so it is such a message to send to society nowadays because we certainly don't want to fall in any type of slump that we're not vibrant, we're not thriving. And certainly we know that ministry is not designed to destroy relationships. It's not designed to destroy families. But so this is where we are right now. But at this time, we'll let you all say hi to us and all that good stuff. I am so ready. I have been sitting in front of this computer about 2 hours just waiting, kept looking at for 7 o'clock. So excited. Yes, and welcome to Sip and Chat. All right, now Tanya, Lady
Yes.
Tanya, and Pastor Kenny. Just tell us a little bit about yourself. Now, I have the big stuff right here, the bio, but just a little piece about yourself before we go into your bio.
Wow. Well, he said start first. Well, I
Yeah.
grew up in Wilmington, North Carolina.
Okay.
And, I'm, my mom raised, she was a single parent. She raised
Okay.
4 children. I'm the only girl out of three boys and one girl. Kenneth and I got married back in 83. And we was 19, 18 and 19. And
Nice.
joined the military and I followed him. Yeah, yeah. And so we have, wow, 3 adult children and 2 grandchildren and 1 dog, Andrew.
Okay.
We're like Lady Hill said, I'm an entrepreneur. Maximizing Potential is the name of my business, doing business as Tanya Nixon Anderson, Lady Anderson,
Okay.
um, volunteer in the community, leadership in the community, IFOC chaplain, international chaplain, but just love God, love God's people, and just willing to help and to impart life to all that come into my sphere of influence.
Okay. Great. Great. You sound just like the Tanya that we know. Now, the amazing thing about Pastor Kenny, and I was sharing with one of the members at your church because I said, you know what? I knew you guys had conference this weekend and just really trying to relax and spend time together. So I contacted them for your bio. And I said to her, I said, now, Pastor Kenny, I have not had any affiliation because, as women, we tend to connect with the women type thing. And I told her, I said, now what I do know, he's just as affluent as Tanya, but me and Tim to do their stuff from the backside, while the women seems like we're just out front, but thank God for our covering, huh? Oh yes. And so I honor you, Pastor Kenny, for the man of God that you are. You're not intimidated by Tanya's business and all that she does. You as my husband, just take the pleasure of making sure that while I'm out and about, I'm covered with your prayers, and you got an eye on her. You got that I don't want to call it a third eye. They refer to that as demonic. So
Yes.
that one you got on her, making sure she's okay. So Pastor Kenny, just tell us a little bit about yourself, if you would, sir.
Well, hello, how y'all doing? I appreciate. First, I'm honored. We're honored that you would consider us to join you on tonight. My name is Kenneth. People will tell you whenever they ask me to introduce myself, I tell them my mother named me Kenneth, and
All
that's
right.
why. Um, I am to say it like this. I'm Alaskan born. I'm Alaskan by birth. I
Wow.
am I am a North Carolinian by God, but I'm a Texan by choice. So,
All right.
but anyway, as Tanya said, we got married at a young age, and she didn't tell you the truth. I had to get permission from my parents. They had to go downtown and sign the paperwork for me to get married. So she robbed the cradle.
Oh,
But see, she got it. But anyway, no, seriously. We, like she said, we've been married since '83. It'll be
Wow.
it'll be 38 years in December. I tried to get her to do it on Christmas Day, but she wouldn't. I wanted one present for Christmas and for anniversary, but she wouldn't do that. But I'm just honored to be here and just to be a servant. That's my heart. My heart is to be a servant and to serve with God's people and take care of my wife.
Amen. That's awesome. That is so awesome. And you could tell that just that little bit right there, you can tell you love your Tanya. Amen.
Yeah.
I do. Yes,
You
ma'am.
love
Yes,
this
ma'am.
Tanya.
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it kind of reminds me of Perry and myself. I am the now I'm not sure about the two of you, but I am the chatter, 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 chatter. I mean chatter. But he says little, but that he says carry volume and carry content.
Mhm.
And so I respect him even though I'm out doing stuff. I give him the respect that he deserves, and I know it's the same with the two of you. All right, now I'm about to read the bio because are my parent are my comments up? Let me see. Let me make sure my comment board is
Oh,
going.
a minute. Let me.
Yeah, there they go. Let me say this right now. Blessing, Sister Lisa Kelly. Tashika says, greetings to my leaders, the Andersons. I mean, that member right there loves them some
Yeah.
Andersons.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Amen. We thank God. But I'm about to read the bio because reading your bio is going to take us right into the topic,
Hmm.
married or single. And it is so amazing. And the both of you are so power packed. And we know that ultimately it's God. But you guys carry so much stuff that if I read the entire bio, we wouldn't have time for the conversation. So I
Amen.
pulled
Right.
out
Just make it short.
some of the parts and pieces because God has done it for you. He's made it possible for you all to be where you are today. Now we'll start with Lady Tanya. Um, Lady Tanya Nixon Anderson is a native of Wilmington, North Carolina. She holds multiple degrees, early childhood education, counseling, master's in ministry. She's a licensed evangelist, licensed and ordained chaplain. She is the founder of Fountain of Deliverance Ministries Incorporated, founder and executive director of Hannah Support Group, which support families affected by domestic abuse.
Hmm.
And she's the owner of now this is what I really love. She's the entrepreneur, the owner of Make Prayer a Habit apparel. And
Hmm.
she's also they are the founders of Marriage Works, and I love that piece as well. And on
Hmm.
the ministry side of the house, she's a district missionary of the Kingdom Builders District of North Carolina's second jurisdiction. She's a pastor's wife and on and on. She's a volunteer in the community, in the school system. And listen, last but not least, she is a mother and she's a grandmother. And
Hmm.
she said just earlier, the her business overall is maximizing potential. That's powerful. But all of these things being said right here, now we're going to read Pastor Kenny. And Pastor Kenny Anderson is a native of San Antonio, born in Alaska. Whew. Yes, he too holds multiple degrees, and he is what I call a mathematician. Anybody can do math, and man, you got my respect.
Hmm.
And he's currently pursuing a master's of divinity. He is a pastor of Abundant Life Church. He is the superintendent of the Kingdom Builders District. He serves
Hmm.
in several capacities in the national church and in the North Carolina second jurisdiction. And there are so many areas of ministry and the professional side of their lives that they are a part of. And guess what? They are examples of being intentional that they don't become married but single.
Hmm.
And I'm telling you, it is so powerful because they understand, and all of us, none of us are exempt for getting too busy or
Right.
that we kind of lose sight of certain things. But as we read the bio and the things they do, it is amazing how at the end of the day they find time somewhere there, if it's nothing but a handhold or a look and a giggle to say, hey, we still connected, And so
Amen.
we want Tanya, Kenny, if you don't mind, Kenny and Tanya
Yes.
to share
Yes.
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 with us how you're intentional of because don't forget we got the mother and the grandmother piece, that
Right.
piece as well. And see, that's the piece that when you close your front door and close all that other stuff out, that part comes with you, that mother grandmother piece. So share with the viewers how your way of letting us know how you stay intentional, making sure that Tanya and Kenny stays connected. Talk to us.
Go ahead.
Well, I'll start. Part of my thing is this. My parents. I have great parents. My dad, my mom, Bishop Anderson, mother Barbara Anderson, were great examples. And
Uh-huh.
one thing my dad always taught us is he taught us that you take care of, and forgive me for saying this, where he says, you take care of that girl.
Right.
You went and got her from her mama's house, and so it's
Right.
your responsibility to make sure that you take care of her. She
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't have to do anything. She shouldn't
Mm-hmm.
have to work if she doesn't want to. It's your responsibility. And
Wow.
so I take that literally. My mother then taught us. My mother didn't have any girls, so she had nothing but boys. And she said, I don't. When you get married, I want you to get married because you're in love, not because you need somebody to take care of you. And
Right.
so she made sure we knew how to take care of the house. She made sure we knew how to cook. Of course, for boys, you got to cook. And so one of the things I do to make sure I stay connected is I make sure that she's well fed and she's well
Mm-hmm.
taken care of. Um,
Mm-hmm.
my wife, I love my wife dearly, but my wife had a prayer a long time ago, and she told God that she wanted someone to cook for her because she does not like to cook. She really doesn't like to cook. And
Uh-huh.
so to one of the things of being intentional is to make sure she eats properly, make sure she has what
Uh-huh.
she's needed. And so I get up, I cook. Sometimes I'll complain and I'll tell her she's taking advantage of me because she doesn't get in the kitchen. And so she'll go in there and she'll mess around while I'm cooking. I'll fuss at her because you don't mess with my pots while I'm cooking.
Right. Right.
You don't do that. But then aside from that is I want to make sure that she doesn't have the burden of doing everything.
Mm-hmm.
As a man, we're taught that you do outside the house stuff, you do out, but
Right.
and let the woman have the inside of the house. Well, you can't always do that. You have to share, whether it's inside or outside. Now we have a rule, but she doesn't follow it. Pastor Perry, she doesn't follow it. The rule is everything outside the house is mine. You don't mess with nothing outside the house. But she wants to get out there and do the yard and do all that stuff and just fall all against the rules and just be all wrong in that aspect. But I,
Uh-huh.
but part of it is helping her to make sure that she doesn't carry the load by herself.
Right.
And
Right.
and I'll be honest with you. Um, I am an introvert.
Uh-huh.
She's an extrovert.
Mm-hmm.
And so and that's one of our areas that we have constant to work on because once I get in the house, I'm good. As long as I know you're good to go,
Right.
Right.
I don't need any interaction. I'm good, but she needs that interaction, and so and
Wow.
that's one of the areas we have to continue to work on, especially me. I'm 56 now, and so the longer you spend with someone, the more you know them, the less you communicate, and so I have to be that, and I got to work. I got to work on that. I have to work
Right.
on
Right.
that. But
Right.
that's my thing is to make sure that I take care of her and I make sure that everything's okay. And every day is not rosy. Every day is not
Right.
rosy. We don't argue, but we do have energetic exchange of ideas. And and sometimes she don't feel like being bothered with me. But the one thing I do is make sure that when I go to sleep at night, some part of me is touching her. If
Come
it's
on here.
if it's my hand on her leg or my foot, our feet
Say
are touching.
that.
Something has to be touching, whether she likes me or not, whether she's okay with me or not. Something, the ocean might be between us in the bed, but something has got to
Something
be.
gonna touch.
Okay, I'm talking too much. I'm sorry. I'm talking too
No,
much.
you're good.
I'm
You're
talking too much.
absolutely good. Oh my God, this is fantastic. It is fantastic. But Pastor Kenny, while you were talking and was talking about the introvert, the extrovert, it is the same here. Now, for me, if I leave the house in the morning and the chances are I'll be gone at least 4 hours. And but while I'm out, like if I'm on the track walking and I'm thinking about Perry, I'm like, you know what? What can I do? Because if Perry never leaves home, he is fine. I cannot stay up in the house. I've got to see some people. I got to go see somebody about a dog or something, you know. And so I get out, and then I see people at the park on the trail, and I talk to them. And so my prayer be like, Lord, what can I do to, for Perry while I'm out? I may run to the store, as horrible as I look, and go get him a candy bar, And so he's here because I already know the way we are, the transparency with us, the way we are. If I don't make it happen, it's not going to happen, because Perry is okay not saying a mumbling word all day long. Somebody needs to be talking up in here. And so I'm always doing things. And as yourself, I'll be transparent to say it's intentional. We have to work it. We have to.
Intentional.
We have to, because if not, days will go by, and it's like, oh my
Yes.
God, oh my God. And I'm going to say this and let Lady Anderson talk. I remember when all the kids left, and I didn't realize how much time our whole relationship was based around raising the kids. We didn't even realize it. When the last child left home, we were still living in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
And the first time we sat down to eat dinner with no kids there, I looked across the table and I was like, oh my God, who is this guy?
Right.
And I said to him, oh my God, you're my husband. I mean, I guess for the entire time raising kids, I looked at him as the father of my children. Never, that I can remember, never looked at him as my husband. But we were so busy making sure we raised the children that when they left, we had to start a relationship.
Right.
We had to start a relationship. And
Wow.
so with that, it has been like, wow, okay, this, that, and the other. And at that point, we are entering now, mind you, we are entering a different season in our lives.
Yes.
In the beginning, oh, thank you, ma'am, thank you, sir,
Mm-hmm.
glory to his name. But then as your seasons change, like you said, throw a leg over there. I'm over here, honey. Here I go. Here I am. But and so these are the things that it's like we declare that we would not be a couple that live in the same house, sleep in the same bed, sit at the same table, sit in the same living room and watch TV, but we're single.
Right.
Right.
And so I certainly understand where you are. All right, Lady Tanya, talk to us.
Okay. Wow. Where you want me to start? Yes, I agree. I just add what Kenneth has stated about being intentional, and it's so important. And sometimes, if we're not careful, that will slip away from us.
Mm-hmm.
And for lack of a better word, we really want to guard against taking that for granted. And there's so many people that are watching right now, and like you said, everything haven't been a bed of roses, but that word intentional, one of the deacon of our church used that word, and that we have to be intentional about making sure that one another feel connected, feel loved, feel valued, feel respected and honored. And so you may hear that word over and over again. We have to be intentional, because if we're not careful, we'll take those things for granted. We have to communicate, like you said, ministry, we're in ministry. We've done good, early on in the years. We've, taken those trips, taking those times where we go and eat dinner. The kids were growing up in college, going away. Now our daughter is here and our granddaughter is here, but we still have to make that time. You see, we make that time for one another. There's a situation surrounded while they're here, but we still have to take that individual time, that me time, that self-care. But then we have to make sure that we be intentional about coming together as a couple, because there are many things that will kind of creep in. And one thing that I thought about as I was reflecting on the topic married but single, and I love Dr. Tony Evans. I have been a student of his here recently, maybe the last year. And one thing I thought about was a kingdom marriage. We must have a kingdom mindset. And why are we together? You know, a lot of times we think about, and we've heard it, Lady Hill and Pastor Hill coming up, you know, they always threw out there, be fruitful and multiply.
Multiply.
Only
Yes.
thing we associated that with is just having children.
Right.
Right.
You know? But you know, as we grow in the Lord, you know, and as we increase in the knowledge of His Word, we have to. When we look at the word kingdom and the kingdom mindset, is a fixed mental attitude or disposition ruled by God,
Right.
governed by Him, for His purpose, for His plan, for His desires. That predetermine or decide to advance a person's response and interpretation of the situation. So when we have that kingdom mindset, we have to understand that our marriage has to be that image of God. It has to reflect God.
Right.
And so
Right.
when we're talking about being fruitful and multiply, it takes on a whole different spin when you're talking about kingdom mindset, because we want to duplicate in our children, amen. So when they go off somewhere, they can represent who God is.
Right.
And so
Right.
if we allow children to get in the way, if we allow ministry to get in the way, our
Yes.
different personalities, like you stated, being an introvert, being an extrovert, you know, this is just who I am. But we as a couple, we as a married couple, if we're not careful, we be living in the same house, not
Right.
being relational, you know, not being intimate. Yeah, we can come together physically, and that's
Yes.
all it is. Now you're back in your own separate corners. You didn't have
Right.
sex, but you're not, there's no intimacy there.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
we want, that's what we need to guard against. And so
Yes.
even with our children, our grandchildren, they're looking at that. You know, they
Amen.
may say, you know, I don't want to see Nana and Paw. That's what London and
Yeah.
Kip and Paul is kissing, or, you know, whatever the case may be. But, you know, they may think that's
Yeah.
gross, but
Yeah.
they need to see that we not only love one another, but we like one another.
That's
Amen.
right. That is good.
And I say this, loving is one thing, liking is something totally different.
Yes, it is.
I can love you from across state lines.
Right.
If I like you, that means I want to be around you.
That's right. That's
And so I like Tanya. I mean, I'm in love with her, but I like her.
right. Right.
And so I do things to make sure that I'm around her, because right now, as you're talking about seasons, and forgive me for jumping in, but you're talking about seasons, and we're in a different season now. When we first got married, that was a good season, because but you only see each other but so much time during the day, because
Right.
you're getting up, you're going to work, the kids are going to school, and then you come home in the evening, you got to take care of the kids. You might spend a couple hours before you go to bed, then you go to sleep, and you start all over again. But now in our later years, we spend more time together because we don't go to work. And
Right.
so when we take the kids, when we take our granddaughter to school, that's time for us, because we'll go eat breakfast, or she wants to go somewhere. And so one of the things I do is, if she wants to go get a pedicure, manicure, I go and sit in the place, sitting there reading the magazine while she's getting her pedicure, spending that quality time.
Yes.
And we might not be talking, but we're spending that time together.
Right.
And then the fruitful part is the church. People outside our family has to see it, and they have to want to model and their marriages just like us. So that's being fruitful and
Yes.
multiplying. I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
I would
Absolutely.
like to also add to it, when we're talking about the relationship, I often say that, and tell younger couples, my wife is my best friend.
Wow.
Friends stick together.
Right.
Yes.
She's my best friend. I don't have in having that, it gets beyond you. Like one comment says, is marriage is more than sex, but it's a relationship. It's that friendship that we have. It's that friendship of sticking together. It's that friendship of well, regardless of the hard times or the difficult times, we are still together.
Yes.
I just wanted to add that into that part, especially in this section here, where we're talking about those finding that relationship with one another, friends, more than just a lover, but caring. And Superintendent, what I do, I go, but I also get mine. my pedicure and my manicure done too. I sit there in the chair, relax beside her.
Yes, sir.
They know
Yes,
we coming there together. They already prepare a chair, one for her and one for me.
right.
And it
Amen.
took me a little time to get there, but
You get there. Yes,
I
sir.
got there at one time done. It was awesome.
Yes,
So
yes.
little things like that keeps the joy in the marriage.